truly how you're feeling.
It's actually probably the only thing on the record without sarcasm. You know, it's just like that. I wasn't until the record was done. I wrote the record when I was living. Emily and I had separated, and I was living in I don't know where the Exchange building is downtown in San Antonio. It's like this old famous, building, and it's got lofts, and so I was living down there, and I was going to call the record Night at the Exchange, and then after I got done with it, it just had, even though it dealt with, some serious issues with the divorce and everything like that, that it just felt so redemptive at the end of it with everything that even though it doesn't really jive exactly with the title track, but I just felt as an overall feeling, it's just like this coming out the other end of something, and it just like I said, I just feel great right now, and it feels it feels like such a summer record too, it's
Absolutely.
just like,
And a lot of the guys who played on it are, not all of them, but a lot of them are in your band.
Yeah.
That's always good when, the guys who are on the road with get to play on the record. There's tightness there.
They have, when you sit back there, after, 10 years of shows being on the bus, you sit in the back lounge after shows, and everybody drinks beer and plays music, that your band guys have a better sense of who you are musically, and everything than just getting studio musicians. So, especially a record like this, where kind of musically that I kind of went outside, even, my 9 dots is larger than most people's 9 dots, and I went out, went outside further, and so they were, they knew my kind of influences more, and they were so more willing to, go out there and just say, okay, we will do this, so it was cool.
And you've got Charlie Sexton all over the record. How did that come about?
When I was writing these songs, I knew that melodically and musically that it was going to be a different and a little bit more harder edge, and a little bit more in the vein of whether it's like that song is a lot of kind of petty influence, or Birds kind of stuff, and Sexton just like just after like 2 songs, I was just like, man, Sexton's got to play on this whole thing, because he's such a huge part of the way that record sounds. He drives so many of the tracks. So,
does the music that you're listening to at the time influence, you think, your record that you're making?
Yeah, I think so. I think it does. But this one just seemed like more just kind of that my emotions were so intense at the time, and it was the first time that I'd really written from the first person, especially about something so close to me. I kind of write, whether it's Loving County or things like that, that are from other people's point of view. And so this is like the first one that I've ever really written from, something I was going through so, deeply at the time. And so kind of the music had like this real kind of, emotion to it too. So I could kind of feel how I wanted the record to sound as I was writing the songs.
I'd like to play one of my favorite Gaddis tunes, Reconsider. How did you, how'd you pick that one? He's got such a...
Well, the record is very, from start to finish, is very chronological in kind of what I was going through, and it's like the 2 months period of time. And so that if I was going to write a song kind of with the subject matter of that song, and as I started writing it, I was just, just that Gaddis song popped in my head, and I was just like, man, I'm not going to be able to beat that song, just like, but the songs that I did choose to cover, they fit with the kind of chronology of the record, and they're just great songs. And it wasn't, didn't do the kind of Nashville thing, people do, is go, just pick a good song. It was just like they just popped into my head. It's like, okay, this is the perfect place to put this song, because it just makes sense with the record.